Hey there, Dental Ventures. Welcome back into this limited series for startup marketing tips, where we obviously go a little bit deeper than that. Talk about leadership, how leadership and that vision creates a culture, that culture creates your brand, and you're building out referral practices that don't actually need as much marketing. So today we're going to dive into the importance of assessments. And this is actually probably, in my opinion, the most important part of what I do with clients. This is the first step. I give every potential client one of these assessments for a lot of different reasons. But I want to stop right there and say, hey, this is another free tool. We have these assessments available for each of you that are listening. At this particular point, you've got options here, right? Download the workbook. We definitely want you to work through that. That's something you can hang on to down the road long after you've listened to this and go back and reference. That'll be a lot more helpful for you. And then secondly, if you've got any questions as you're going through this, you can get me on a discovery call. Just schedule 15 minutes. It's not a sales call at all. It's a coaching session. And then third, I'm going to add another one here for you. We're going to have a link just for the listeners, just for you guys on these assessments. And then I've even got a video that goes with them to help you kind of debrief it so that you kind of get a good idea of your behavioral style and what you value. But I'm going to go into a little bit of why that's important here in a second. So you need these assessments, for yourself to understand your leadership strengths. Everybody thinks that leaders are linear, that it's this one place everybody goes. It's not. It's understanding what your behavioral style is and what you value and using that to be a great leader. You can't be exactly like the person, in another practices. You've got to be your own leader, but there are some basics, right? And leadership, in my opinion, has a lot to do with your emotional intelligence. I certainly understand, Dennis, you had to have high IQs. The intellectual side was taken care of long ago, or you wouldn't be where you are. And I'm certainly not saying this to say that you don't have emotional intelligence, but it's a push-pull. Nobody's born with a ton of both. So we want to make sure that you've got great leadership skills and really thinking about your communication strategy for your team, your patients, and of course, your marketing and how that affects your brand. So if you engage with any of my content online, you'll see me mention assessments and profiles over and over and over again. Like I said, they're incredibly important. But here's the reason for it. Assessments are the most powerful tools you can utilize in your practice because of what I said with leadership, but also team communication and how the team creates this patient experience and patient satisfaction. So they can give insight into how and why people do what they do. And this as a leader is very important. If you don't want to have to be monitoring, the different communications, and you don't want an office full of drama, and you want to make sure that patients leave with clarity every time they come in, or have that clarity before they even come in, these assessments will help you make sure that you've got the right people in the right seats doing the right things. Now, the assessments that we use are DISC and values assessments. There's a lot out there. There's Colby, there's Strength Finders. A lot of different consultants are using, I think it's the Drake P3 or something like that. But what we use are not personality tests. When I went to get certified, I looked through all of them because I wanted to make sure I found one that was subjective. Because what I don't like when people use personality tests is they use that to hire someone with. And they're like, oh, well, they don't have the personality we want. That is not what you want to use these for. You want to have behavioral assessments so that you can understand where there might be strengths for the team and how they can work together, and also understanding where there's predictable conflict and making sure that there's people on your team that can help galvanize and push things through, where there's also people that are going to be able to research and discern information. Just building a very well-rounded team comes from these assessments and comes from you as a leader knowing this and living by this and helping your team navigate it. So people are not all the same. And we don't necessarily want to be treated, as the way that you think we should be. We have a certain way we want to be treated. And if you can unlock that information then you can create deep and effective engagement with your team. In turn, you're going to feel valued. You're going to feel heard. You're going to feel understood. You're going to go home every day without that stress of, is my team even paying attention to what I'm saying? So I'm going to keep this episode short. We're going to dive in deeper to the staff in the next episode. But again, these profiles uncover the behavioral styles, the values you possess, and the leadership skills that you're going to have. A lot of people come to me very nervous about, now I've got to be a business owner. I want to make sure that I'm building a team the right way. But this is a very valuable tool to help you do it. It's a 54-page cheat sheet on yourself. There's it's crucial for you to have this for yourself and for your team. So anyway, it's great also to build culture. And we're going to talk a lot more about that, how to build your staff, how to build your culture in the next few episodes. But like I said, go into the show notes, go to venturepractices.com, find the assessments on there for startups, and go ahead and do one of those, and we can debrief it if you like. See you on the next episode. Thanks.